2022 has continued to be a challenge, with ongoing cost of living pressures making life incredibly difficult for many of us from all walks of life. Whether it's the cost of childcare, saving to buy a home, the impact of rising interest rates, or the pressure of running a small business or saving for retirement. So we all sat with bated breath on Tuesday night, waiting to see if there would be much needed relief and support as Treasurer Jim Chalmers and the Albanese government handed down their first federal budget. Coined a budget for families, the measures announced provide some relief for those with children, home buyers and social security recipients. And although there was no relief to the pain we all share at the moment when we see that fuel gauge edging closer to empty, what could these announcements mean for you? My name's Jenica Mills, I'm a superannuation and financial specialist, and over the next few minutes I'm going to take you through some of the key announcements from tonight's federal budget. But a quick reminder before we get started that most of these announcements are just proposals at this stage, and some formal processes will generally need to be completed before most of these measures become law. And it might also be a good idea to speak with your financial advisor to understand exactly how these changes could apply to you. Compared to what we've seen in previous years, the budget this year was very light on in relation to super and retirement savings, with just a single announcement tonight for pre-retirees looking to boost their superannuation balance. The government has reaffirmed their commitment to further extend eligibility for downsizer contributions, which broadly speaking are contributions of up to $300,000 per person made with the sale proceeds from a property that is or has been your main residence. Now, currently you need to be aged 60 or over to make a downsizer contribution. However, the government intends to extend this to people aged 55 and over. So this means potentially greater opportunities for even more people to contribute amounts to super in those all-important pre-retirement years. Now, like other types of super contributions, there are a range of eligibility and other really important considerations to make before you decide to contribute. For example, once you do contribute to super, you'll only be able to access your money in limited circumstances, most commonly when you retire or turn age 65. If you have a financial advisor, it would be a great idea to speak with them about your own circumstances and to understand how this opportunity could apply to you. Property prices may have come off slightly over the past year, but with the cost of living pressures and rising interest rates, this has not made getting on that property merry-go-round much easier for many of us. Saving a deposit on top of life's other expenses can be a real challenge, and if you can't, you may have the added expense of lender's mortgage insurance, which can be quite a significant amount of money. The government has announced a range of support measures relating to housing affordability, including the Housing Accord, where the government has set what they've called a pretty aspirational target of building 1 million new, well-located homes over 5 years. They've also announced the Help to Buy Shared Equity Scheme and the First Home Regional Guarantee Scheme. Let's start with the Regional Home Guarantee Scheme. So in a nutshell, 10,000 places will be made available each year for eligible regional first home buyers to purchase a first home with as little as a 5% deposit. Now, if you do submit a successful application, the assistance you'll receive is a government loan guarantee of up to 15% of the purchase price to help you purchase a first home with a smaller deposit and without that lender's mortgage insurance expense. Now, there are a few boxes you'll need to tick to be eligible, and these requirements may differ depending on which support you're applying for. Eligibility rules include income limits and property price caps, which will differ based upon your region. Applications for this one can actually be made now to secure a guarantee directly via any one of the approved lenders. So to find out more about this scheme and to check the list of approved lenders, visit nhfic.gov.au. Now, the Help to Buy scheme is a little different. This one's a shared equity scheme where the government will assist eligible home buyers to purchase a home to live in through a shared equity arrangement. This scheme might help home buyers purchase a new or an existing home, again with a much smaller deposit, but rather than providing a deposit guarantee, the government will actually own an equity share in your home. Now, you'll be required to pay all of the upfront and ongoing expenses, so it's really important to note that point there. And like our other schemes, a range of eligibility conditions will apply, including age and income limits. And of course, like we always say, it's really important to make sure you understand all of the fine print and how the scheme and rules will apply to you and your personal circumstances. Now, a number of announcements have been made to support Social Security payment recipients and concession card holders. The government has reaffirmed their commitment tonight to increase the income eligibility limits that apply to the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. There are lots of different types of concession cards issued by Centrelink, but this one in particular is issued to people who have reached their age pension age but don't qualify for any age pension due to the income or asset test limits. Now, there's going to be quite a large increase to the income limits for this card, so if you meet all of the other eligibility rules and you have income of up to $90,000 as a single person, or you're the member of a couple with combined income of up to $144,000, you may be eligible to apply for this card, which can provide you with a range of benefits, including access to discounted medicines and medical care, and other state and territory-based incentives, such as discounted rates and utility bills and car registration. So chat to your financial advisor about this one, or phone Services Australia to find out more. And when the time comes, jump onto MyGov to submit your application. Now, there are a couple of other Social Security announcements that may benefit you if you're an eligible Social Security recipient looking to downsize, or you're continuing to do a bit of part-time work while receiving the age pension. These announcements might enable you to downsize and take additional time to purchase or build your new home without impacting your entitlements under the assets test. Or if you're receiving age pension and you're continuing to do a bit of part-time work, you may be able to earn a bit more from employment without impacting your age pension entitlement under the income test via a one-off boost to your work bonus income bank. Now, for more information about these changes and to understand how they could apply to you, again, speak to your financial advisor or pop into your local Centrelink office. And finally, support tonight for families with children, as the government has announced changes to the paid parental leave scheme and the childcare subsidy. So let's first start with the paid parental leave scheme. The changes announced are intended to increase eligibility and to also provide greater flexibility to new parents by increasing the total amount of paid leave available. And there are also changes to the rules around how the leave can be taken. Now, currently, to be eligible for paid parental leave, your income needs to be below an individual limit. And at the moment, that individual limit is around $156,000. But as a result of these changes, it will be possible to qualify under the individual limit or under a new family income test limit of $350,000. The maximum leave period will also increase to 26 weeks in increments of 2 weeks per year, starting from 1 July 2024. And again, even greater flexibility will be provided when parents will have a choice of how and when to take their leave. So the rules that require the birth parent to first take leave will be removed in favour of a system which will allow you to choose what's right for you and your family, and a system which also recognises the importance of spending precious time together by allowing parents to take leave at the same time. And finally, some of the eligibility rules that apply to the childcare subsidy will be amended, providing an increased maximum subsidy of up to 90% of the cost of care to eligible families. Quite a significant change will be that families earning up to $530,000 will be eligible for some support with the cost of childcare. This income limit is currently only around $356,000. So there we have it, our second federal budget for 2022 and the first for the Albanese government. And believe it or not, it won't be long until we see each other again in May 2023 as we finally get back to our regular federal budget timing. Now, a reminder that most of the announcements we've just talked about will need to go through some formal steps to become law, and the commencement date for some of these measures will depend upon the timing of that formal process. But in the meantime, you can find out more information about these announcements by visiting budget.gov.au, and to find out how you could benefit, speak to your financial advisor.